This episode covers vehicle searches, planting evidence, and roadside chemical tests. On February 15th, 2018, at approximately 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Deputy Zach Wester of the Jackson County Sheriff's Office pulled over 52-year-old grandmother Teresa Odom in Marianna, Florida, because her vehicle brake lights were allegedly flickering on and off at a fast pace. At the time of the stop, Ms. Odom was on felony probation for dealing in stolen property. After Ms. Odom was pulled over, Deputy Wester approached the driver's side window of Ms. Odom's vehicle.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Should I turn in here to get off?
You're fine, you're fine. Deputy Westwood, Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Reason for my stop is your brake lights.
Yes, sir.
They work 1 minute, and the next minute they don't work, and then a few seconds later they just flash, okay?
So it's probably because of the rain.
Okay, that's fine. You got your driver's license on you, ma'am?
I just got tickets the other day. I'll be glad to show
Oh,
them
did
to
you?
you.
No, you're fine. All right, thank you. I'll be right back.
My truck may or may not start. When I turn it off, you may have to push me off, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you.
Okay. Do you need to turn it off? Do you have to turn it off?
It'd probably be better.
Okay.
I'm on a hard time with it as it is.
Okay, I'll tell you what. If
Can
we
I answer my phone?
Yeah. You can answer your phone. I'm just trying to think what's going to be best for. What is? What is that right there?
What is what?
That right there.
What is what? This?
That straw right there.
This is not a straw. It's an ink pen.
Oh, okay.
It's
okay.
an ink pen.
It was connected. It looked like it was
No
connected
straw.
to that arc.
Hey,
Just
I
hang
just
tight,
got
okay?
pulled over there.
Man, you see my hip give out right then? Good Lord.
Look.
All right.
It's one of those lessons. Don't let the friendliness fool you. Don't let the cordialness fool you. The nice pep in his step and the friendly demeanor. They're not your friends.
I just don't even need to know. I've been at the hospital with an
My
84-year-old
God.
uncle all day long for 3 days. now,
Okay.
So I'm expecting anything at this point.
That would be, I hope everything turns out good with that, all right?
It did. It did.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. I'm
It
sorry.
did. And I'm waiting on Dr. Albritton to call me. That was another thing I was fixing to tell you.
Okay.
If Dr. Albritton calls,
That's
I may not
fine.
answer his call.
That ain't no problem. I don't care. Yeah, I'm not going to keep you from talking on the phone, okay? Anything in the vehicle I need to be concerned about? Bombs, hand grenades,
Drugs,
rocket launchers?
no.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right. Here's what I do probably 10 or 15 times a shift, okay? There's going to be a K9 coming in a minute, and she's going to walk around the car, okay? But instead of doing that, would you consent to a search of your vehicle? You're fine with that? Okay. All right. You mind stepping out and just hanging out with this?
Never do that. Never do that. You want to get into my vehicle, you're going to work for it. I'm not just going to offer the door wide open and say, come on in. That's too trusting. There's a lot of people out there think, you know what? I know I'm not doing anything wrong. Why am I worried about it? Oh, if you said no, that means that you're guilty. No, it means that you have a right, which means you have the right to say no. That's why he's asking. It's a question. It's not a command, period. You could say no, and I would say no.
Deputy right back here?
No, I don't. I'm scared of being in this traffic. To be
No,
honest.
Deputy Hayke will take care of you.
Deputy Wester informs Ms. Odom that a K9 unit is on the way and requests that she consent to a search of her vehicle instead of waiting for the K9. Despite the fact that she was under no legal obligation to do so, Ms. Odom readily agrees to allow Deputy Wester to search her vehicle. In general, while officers are not prohibited from requesting to search a citizen's home, vehicle, or person, individuals have the right to refuse to consent. However, if an individual consents, officers have the authority to conduct a search, even if there is no probable cause, reasonable suspicion, or any justification whatsoever for the search. For this reason, criminal defense attorneys recommend that individuals refuse to consent to any search that an officer requests permission to conduct, because if an officer asks for consent to search, they typically do not have the legal authority to conduct the search without permission. Quote, an officer may conduct certain unrelated checks during an otherwise lawful traffic stop, but he may not do so in a way that prolongs the stop.
That was something I heard about that was happening. I think it was in Florida. The way they used to get around this is one officer would start the search, would start the traffic stop and call another officer to complete it. So what they would do is they'd say, man, can you please hang tight? I'm about to have to go respond to da-da-da-da. Another officer will be here in X amount of time, which extends the search, but they're not given a reason. And then the officer that shows up to continue the stop is a K9. All right, you see how they do that? They can't ask you to wait for the K9, but they're making you wait for the K9.
Can I take my phone?
Yeah, take your phone. I don't care. That's fine. Come on.
So friendly. It's like a snake laughing as it bites you.
2554 to 2540. You can cancel Well, I got consent. All right, Deputy Haycare, make sure you don't get run over, okay? Because I have faith that he would prefer to get over. All right, just hang tight, myself.
I was just about to say, you doing a search without even gloves on?
Here, the body cam footage video shows what appears to be a small baggie in Deputy Wester's hand as he puts on his gloves. It was later proven that Deputy Wester planted methamphetamine in Ms. Odom's vehicle. Although there are no statutes...
I would have missed it. I would have missed it, guys. We're gonna bring that back, and I want to see. I'm gonna play it again, and I want you guys to tell me how many of you saw that, because I was looking at his gloves, because I was just about to say I'm surprised that he's conducting a search without gloves. I'm like, okay, he has gloves. Let's watch that. Tell me if you see it now. In fact, I'm gonna make the screen a little bit bigger for a couple of seconds here. Tell me if you see this.
Here, the body cam footage video shows what appears to be a small baggie in Deputy Wester's hand as he puts on his gloves.
I see the finger, you know, it's turned a certain way. Why? What purpose is there to ruining somebody's life? Why? That's all I can. Right now, my mind is just wrapped around why. Wow.
It was later proven that Deputy Wester planted methamphetamine in Ms. Odom's vehicle. Although there are no statutes in Florida that explicitly prohibit police officers from planting drugs, doing so in order to falsify charges against an individual violates many different state.
What do you mean there's no laws against doing that? I'm pretty sure I have possession. Because what, did he just happen to come up on that on another search, which would be a crime by itself if he hasn't reported that or taken it where it's supposed to be? Or it's his own personal stock, which is also still illegal. There's a need to be a crime against that. It's either it's illegal on its own face, or the reasons and the way he got that drugs is also illegal.
Laws. For instance, Section 838.022 of the Florida statutes, which defines the offense of official misconduct, states that, quote, "It is unlawful for a public servant to knowingly and intentionally obtain a benefit for any person, or to cause unlawful harm to another by falsifying any official record or official document." So, if Deputy Wester included information about planted drugs in a police report or another official document, he could be found guilty of official misconduct. Similarly, Section 918.13 of the Florida statutes, which outlines the crime of fabricating evidence, states that, quote, "No person, knowing that an investigation by a duly constituted law enforcement agency of this state is pending or is about to be instituted, shall make, present, or use any record, document, or thing, knowing it to be false." Therefore, Deputy Wester could violate this statute by presenting planted drugs as evidence against Ms. Odom, or including a false narrative in a police report. And of course, Deputy Wester also likely illegally possessed the drugs that he planted in violation.
Just what I said. There's no legally possessing those drugs, because either he got it from another search, either it's his own personal stock, and either one of those two cases, it's still illegal. It's still possession. Because again, where's it supposed to be? It's still tampering with so-called evidence, right?
Of Section 893-13 of the Florida
So
statute.
nice.
Although planting drugs or other evidence is highly unethical and illegal behavior, some police officers do engage in such conduct, and individuals who are the victims of planted evidence often feel powerless to fight the charges against them when it's their word against a corrupt officer's. However, public defenders and criminal defense lawyers can help citizens who are charged with crimes based on planted evidence defend themselves.
Don't trust them either.
So individuals should never plead guilty to criminal charges without first consulting an attorney. After planting the evidence in Ms. Odom's vehicle, Deputy Wester confronts her about the substance.
Okay, now that one I saw. He did that on camera. What is up with these cops doing things right on camera? I believe that right there is one of the most alarming things that I've come across while doing this. So many officers are so confident, so blatant to do these things, even when they're wearing a badge cam. Like there's no worries, there's no concern, nobody checks them. There's no system of checks and balances. Oh, if you're on a search involving narcotics being found, there's a department whose job is to oversee that search. Nope. Plain view. Covers it up with a little bit of da-da-da. He doesn't even take some time to do a proper search to say it was hidden. No, it was just right there. Wow.
According to the brother David, neither he nor his brother Franklin Walker.
Miss Odom.
It is yogurt, sir.
I know. Okay.
It's yogurt.
How about
It's-
this, though?
That is not mine. No, sir.
Okay. I'm not going to ask you any
No,
direct, hold on.
sir.
I'm not going to ask you any direct questions. I'm going to read you your rights first, okay? So just hang out with Deputy Hayke here.
What is it?
I have an idea. We're going to test it, though, okay?
How heartless do you
Oh
have
no,
to be?
Teresa, you're going to jail.
Yep.
How heartless do you have to be? Wow. Wow, to laugh in somebody's face and then do that to them. That's demonic.
What? Okay.
And he's there testing it like he doesn't know what it is.
Yeah, there goes.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Testing it like he doesn't
Thank you,
already know.
No. Do you have anything on you, Miss Odom?
I said I didn't have anything on me in the truck.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. But do you have anything on your person? Is
I
what I'm
have
asking.
nothing on me to my knowledge
Okay.
at
Thank
all.
you. We're good. Okay. All right.
And I'm not trying to be over.
It did return presumptive positive for methamphetamine. Okay. I'm just letting you know. Okay.
Deputy Wester conducts a field chemical test on the planted substance and informs Ms. Odom that the test was presumptive positive for methamphetamine. However, it should be noted that the results of the test Deputy Webster conducted were not a false positive, since Deputy Wester actually did plant methamphetamine in Ms. Odom's vehicle.
This just
what
this
about
just
my
makes you
truck?
angry.
I'm gonna have to tow it. Okay, since it's a narcotics felony arrest. Okay.
They saying they gonna tow my truck, baby.
Look at what this woman is driving right now. Look at the problem she's having with the truck. Look at how the officer had to reach inside to unlock the door. And look at what he's putting on top of that. That is evil. That is nothing but evil. And this is one of those videos that I react to, and it makes me truly angry. Angry. Look at what this person's already dealing with. And then you put this on top of it. Now you'll go and arrest them. And now she's missing work and she's already fallen behind. She's telling you got to push her to start her truck. You are a despicable human being.
Here, you just want to put your phone and your sunglasses in your purse here, and we'll make sure all this gets to the jail.
Ms. Odom was placed under arrest and charged with felony counts of methamphetamine possession and drug paraphernalia. She was held in jail for 19 days and then pled no contest to the charges. Ms. Odom later explained why she didn't fight the charges, stating that, quote, "I just didn't think I'd be able to beat anything, being as it was law enforcement. And I wanted to get home and take care of my grandbaby. She was about to be 3 months old." In August 2018, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement
Wow.
initiated an investigation into Deputy Wester's conduct at the request of the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Wester was placed on administrative
Wow.
leave on August 1st, 2018, and fired on September 10th. The
And
Department of
charged?
Law Enforcement's investigation found that Deputy Wester routinely pulled over citizens for minor traffic infractions, planted drugs inside their vehicles, and arrested them. In response to these allegations, prosecutors reviewed almost 300 cases in which former Deputy Wester was involved, and dropped charges and vacated convictions in over 100 of those cases. Ms. Odom was among those found to be effective.
And there goes what I just said. When you are that comfortable doing something, it's because you've done it before and you got no fears about getting caught. Over 100 cases? Hey, at least I was right.
And on September 18th, 2018, her convictions were vacated and the charges
Thank
against
you.
her were dismissed. On July
Thank
10th,
you.
2019, Mr. Wester was arrested on numerous felony and misdemeanor
Good.
charges. And on May 18th,
Good.
2021, a jury found Mr. Wester guilty of 19 out of the 67 charges against him, and he was eventually convicted of 12 felonies. On July 13th, 2021, Mr. Wester was sentenced to 12 and a half years in state prison for these convictions.
not enough.
Mr. Wester has since filed an appeal, and as
That's
of the
not
date
enough.
of this episode, the appellate case is still pending. Over a dozen of Mr. Wester's victims have filed civil rights lawsuits over his misconduct. And on July 25th, 2019, Ms. Odom filed a federal lawsuit against Mr. Wester. As of the date of this episode, her case is also still pending. Overall, former Deputy Wester gets an F.
Nah, I wish there was a lower grade. He deserves lower than an F. That is a evil human being. Evil. Nothing else but evil. And I must say, this is probably the most, I've seen some bad videos. This is probably the most angry that I've seen. Well, sorry, the most angry I've been watching a video, most disturbed I've felt about a human being. And that's coming from the other videos I've watched, right? I feel like what makes me the most angry is the fact that this man was a snake. He was a snake that laughed and danced and put on a show in front of you with all intentions of biting you in the neck. That's what made that much worse and angers me that much more. Guys, at least there is justice in this. I want there to be more justice. I want him to get every single person that he wronged, whatever their sentence would have been, that's what he needs to be. Take him off the road. He doesn't deserve life because look at how many lives he ruined. Look how many lives he ruined. How many jobs lost? How many people who couldn't pay their rent? How many moms didn't come home? How many dads didn't come home? Take him off the streets.